Portanto, olá a todos, obrigado a todos que estão aqui presentes, não somos muitos para já, mas queria agradecer-vos pela vossa presença e antes de começarmos e de mudarmos aqui para inglês, eu queria só rapidamente aqui dar-vos nota um bocadinho do que é este projeto, que vocês também se calhar já conheceram e também a Cassie vai apresentar mais à frente. Isto é um projeto norte-americano que se desenrola em torno do lançamento e acompanhamento de pequenos barquinhos pelo oceano. Nós já temos tido ao longo dos anos várias escolas azuis que têm estado envolvidas aqui nestas aventuras. No nosso entender, este projeto é de facto uma maneira incrível de envolver os alunos em torno de temas ligados ao oceano, tem imensas oportunidades, pode, com um bocadinho de sorte e com algum empenho, dar origem a contactos com outras escolas, portanto, internacionais, portanto, com outras escolas de outros países. Queria deixar-vos também aqui uma ressalva. Ao contrário do que já aconteceu em anos anteriores, a nossa equipa, a Escola Azul, neste momento, não tem hipótese ou disponibilidade propriamente de acompanhar as escolas mais a fundo neste projeto. Pronto. Isto não quer dizer que tem todas as capacidades para o trabalhar, mas a nossa equipa neste momento já não consegue estar tão a fundo a acompanhar os barquinhos todos e onde estão, etc. Mas pronto, feita esta nota introdutória, eu deixo-vos aqui com a Cassie também para verem de que forma e em que moldes é que poderão usufruir do Educational Passages e da plataforma e de todas as oportunidades. Portanto, vou passar agora então à Cassie. Cassie, welcome. Thank you. The floor is yours right now. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks to those that will be watching this later. It was really fun to put this presentation together and reflect on the last 11 years of mini boats that have found their way to Portugal. So today I'm going to go through some of those stories, some of the resources that we have to offer, and invite everyone to continue our collaboration. So just need to figure out how to share my screen. Can you see? See the...
No, we saw like a black screen. Right now, we're not seeing anything. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah,
That's great. Yes.
Okay. Great. As Bernardo said, I'm Cassie Stymiest. I work for an organization called Educational Passages that's based here in the United States, but we get to connect people all around the world with these little things we call mini boats. So today I'm talking about those mini boats that connect us, whether they go to or launch from Portugal. A little bit about our mission, which is to connect people around the world to the ocean and each other. We're inspiring ocean stewardship through these really unique global experiences. So in the general cycle of mini boats, you start with building the boat, launching it, tracking, learning along the way. And if you're lucky, it will land, be recovered, repaired, and you get to connect with the people that find it and hopefully start that cycle back over again. Our program starts now with all of these supplies in a kit, and the teams work together in any classroom setting or outside of a classroom to work together and prepare their boat. They're doing things like sanding the bottom, installing the keel, decorating the sail, adding technology, and finding a deployer. And then they have their complete mini boat. So from a mini boat, what information are we getting? Why are we doing this? Not just to connect with others. So we have location and time that is transmitted through our main GPS trackers. But we also have some new sensor packages that are allowing us to collect things such as air temperature, water temperature, heading. Some have cameras, and also we're able to see how the mini boats are moving because of an orientation sensor. This is one of the tracks of a mini boat that had the sensors and that sailed all the way right into the Amazon River a few years ago. Lots of data, and here are some pictures from those onboard cameras. So where do mini boats go? Every single blue dot on this map is a position from a GPS tracker. So you can start to see there's a lot of patterns in the Atlantic, and that's because that's where the program started here in New England. But since then, you can see we've started to expand in the Pacific, the South Atlantic, and have even launched a couple in the Indian Ocean and had one land in Australia. We've had mini boats land in 34 countries over all of these years. So I wanted to do a little history of mini boats to and from Portugal. This might take a little bit of time because there have actually been 19 mini boats that have come and gone. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. But the first one was back in 2014 with the arrival of a boat named Charger. And Charger was from Connecticut, and it found its way to Portugal and was recovered by these lovely people here, some of who are still involved in the mini boat program, as you will see when we move forward in time here. So this was January 2014, and they repaired the boat and they relaunched it. And there's so much more to all of these stories that I'm just mentioning a few things just to give an overview of all of the activity that has happened over the years. So another monumental mini boat that arrived in Portugal was West. And this was in November 2014. West was from Maine, which is where our organization started, and really kick-started this wonderful collaboration that was called Take Portugal to the World. And with that arrival, ended up building boats from over there and helping us receive boats and relaunch them. And it started with Moby in 2016. You can see the students learning about the mini boat that they got, and there's the kind of pieces to it with the sail and the mast and the keel. And then we had Monk Seal. We had Nada in 2017. And at the end of 2017, which is actually where I came into the program, I remember watching the triple relaunch on live stream TV. And I remember seeing Raquel and everybody bringing the boats to this big ship and launching them near Madeira. And it was a wonderful event, and the 3 boats went all different places. In 2018, the Crimson Voyager arrived in Portugal and was brought to an Escola Azul, brought to a school that became an Escola Azul for the project. In 2019, Morik arrived in the Azores. This is another monumental mini boat, I would say, as it really kick-started a few things, and I will share with you a little bit more about what that is and the trajectory of that story in a little bit. But here's just a snapshot of the boat being built in 2017 in Florida, getting launched, getting recovered, going to the Blue School there, becoming a Blue School, and finally seeing Morik relaunched in 2022. In September 2019, I was lucky enough to go to the MC conference, which was the European Marine Science Educators Conference. And I got to meet these lovely students here who had built the Sesimbra a Bordo mini boat. And they got to come to the conference, and together we got to launch the mini boat on the same day as Magellan had arrived had left 500 years before. Really awesome event. A month later, in October of 2019, the Legendary arrived in Portugal. And this was interesting because it was actually from the town that I grew up in New Hampshire. But It was another boat that was given to a school to become a blue school, and they received it on National Ocean. They got the notice that they were going to be the school selected on National Ocean Day. And since then, they worked so hard to add their decorations and get the boat ready. And this was since 2019. In 2022, we started to see a few mini boats arrive in the Azores and not mainland Portugal. And I have a few ideas as to why this is, mainly perhaps the design. That's another conversation, but we saw the square mile recovered off of Fayal. We saw teal turtle arrive, lady lance, and wildcat wave. And all of these boats are still there, and we are working on repairs and redecorations to see them relaunched soon, hopefully. Last July, we saw the Raven Castor arrive in Portugal that came from Ireland. It took a southern transect, but just a few weeks ago, it was given to a school there, and now we are working on hosting a virtual meeting so that the students in Canada, Ireland, and Portugal can meet around this mini boat. Sorry, it just skipped a whole bunch of things, sorry. All right. So then most recently, the biggest news that everyone has probably already seen was the relaunch of the Crimson Voyager and the Legendary. Now, as you just saw, these are boats that arrived in 2018 and 2019. And I really have to point out the perseverance and the commitment of the schools and the teachers and the Escola Azul program for helping to finally get these boats back out on the water. So they were relaunched from Madeira, and they did not do what we thought they would do. So today's session, I was hoping to show you how to track these boats on a map and show you where the most recent locations are. But right now, the most recent locations for both boats are on beaches in Morocco. But that shows that you never know what's going to happen. So I want to talk a little bit about how others can get involved and show you some of those inspirational things that I mentioned that I would bring up before. So more about the Take Portugal to the World program. This has seen many mini boats get repaired, built, relaunched, and we talked about some of them. This is Simbra. This boat went all the way to Nicaragua. I think this is Crimson Voyager finally at the school. You get the community members involved and get everybody connected around these little boats. And it's just, I think all the partners that have been involved in this over the years. And I think it has been successful in taking Portugal to the world. So some inspiration from Helena Batista and the Santa Maria School in the Azores. This is the MORE project I was telling you about, how it landed in 2019, but since then, that school has gone up so many different levels with the Blue School certifications that it's just so great to see the students getting involved in stewardship. Just last December, they presented at the first National Ocean Literacy Conference there, and these are some of the students that were involved in the project talking about it. So you never know what's going to happen, and you never know the kind of impact that a little boat arriving can have. So some more inspiration for all Blue schools. So the Legendary was actually featured in the EU for Blue Schools initiative in their handbook as inspiration. And here are all the things that they wanted to do. They wanted to learn about the mini boat's voyage. They wanted to repair the boat. They wanted to connect with the students in New Hampshire. And they did all of that. And with the relaunch of the Legendary just a few weeks ago, they've been fully successful in completing all of this. Also, one of the schools called Morristown Baird, which is the one that sent out Crimson Voyager, has actually became one of the very first USA Blue schools for a mini boat of theirs that ended up in Ireland, but coincidentally and connected we saw the Crimson Voyager just relaunched, and they're continuing connecting all of the students with all of their mini boats, not just one. And that shows that global impact. All right, so I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, like a little tutorial. How can you access these tracks? How can you explore the stories, and what can you do with them, whether you have a mini boat or not? So a good place to start is educationalpassages.org/maps. You'll see a couple links here. One is the mini boats at sea, and that will show you all of the boats that are currently active. There's a page where you can click and search through all of the different mini boats. And we also have this path analysis tool. So here's what the at sea map looks like. I just took a screenshot last night. You'll see there's a lot of activity all over the place. And the path analysis tool is really great, especially when we're worried that boats are going to land in Morocco, as we saw Crimson Voyager and the Legendary do, because what you can do is add wind forecasts, wave forecasts, currents, and temperature. And so being able to see this information a day forward, 2 days forward, you can start to make predictions as to where you think your boat will go. When you click on each point or the boat, which is the most recent position, you'll be able to see exactly what that information is from the forecast. What's the wind speed at that spot, the wind direction, what's the current? And you can try to make some predictions. And you can also see how fast the boats are going. When these boats were just approaching Morocco, they were actually going upwards of 2.5 knots, which is pretty fast for a boat near shore. This is the page that has all 214 mini boats that we've launched. So you can explore the stories by clicking on one of these pages. That looks like this. So this is Charger's page. You'll see this is the track that brought it to Portugal in 2014. This is where it was relaunched, and it ended up in Guyana. So each boat's page has the name of the boat, the school that launched it, the information about each voyage, and all of these voyages are displayed on the map here. If you scroll down, you'll see the story in chronological order of what's happened. So this first voyage, it didn't go very far. It went from the Bahamas to South Carolina, and then it was relaunched and it went up to Newfoundland. And you can scroll down and click on each tab to learn more about each story. So I wanted to spend the rest of the time just asking questions and talking about how we can help support you. And here are some ideas that I had, which was, do you want to be able to download the data? Do you want the access to those historical voyages? Do you want more help exploring the website or the path analysis tool? Do you want to connect with another school? Would worksheets help? Would maps help? We can do all of this. And for those schools that have mini boats in their classroom that need to make some repairs, we can work with you to find the resources necessary to make those repairs and get the boats relaunched. So I'll open the floor for questions, comments.
Thank you, Cassie. On my end, just thank you for the trip down memory lane. That was all that chronology of all the mini boats that we had in Portugal. It was really fun. And I remember almost all of them, really. Thank you.
That's great. And that just makes me wonder how much the students that have been involved remember that, and how many students there have been since the very beginning. I think when you guys relaunched West, there was like 100+ students on one of the ships when you were there. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was amazing that.
Não sei se algum dos professores quer participar. A Helena já tem experiência nestes barquinhos.
Eu queria dizer,
I was waiting for my lunch to go out.
Good afternoon. I was waiting for, I don't know if you can, because I'm using my mobile phone. I still am in the classroom, but they went out. So now I can, now I can. So thank you, Cassie, because our Marik was there and our students were there. Unfortunately, our Marik lasted what, a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it didn't have enough juice to keep it going.
Never mind. But I remember the feeling, because we waited for, then we had COVID here, and then we didn't have money to fix. And then my colleague's husband, every Saturday afternoon, spent hours fixing it. And then we didn't have money for the license. It's a bit expensive. But then Cassie helped us connecting with floods. And they have a connection, special connection between the Azores and the United States. And so we got the money in exchange of having an exchange with an American school. Great. that was not a problem. That was great. And so we got that. And that moment when we finally launched it with all the families of the kids, we cried. You didn't see photos, but we cried because it was like a son going to college far away. And even though after a week or half a week, I don't remember, we stopped getting answers. There was probably there was a GPS, something wrong, I don't know. But that moment, nobody can take that moment away from us, right? That moment of the launching and everyone saying goodbye to Marik. And Marik, we couldn't change the name to Marik. Of course, it was the name of the mother school. We had our own, we had a private ceremony. We have our own name for the boat, never mind the name. But and because of that, it gathered. And as I said, it was we are a blue school from earlier than Marik, right? But that was earlier than the launching. But that was the starting point. And I have to say that was the starting point. That I was able to connect here, students, parents, the community, and they are all, even today, after, I don't know, 3-4 years, people are asking, do you have news about our mini boats? No. Why not another one? Because they're quite expensive and we can't afford them, right? But we have some, and tomorrow we're going to have, right, Fernanda and Bernardo, we're going to have a meeting of the Blue teachers at the Azores. And we have a teacher always asking for help. And I told her to talk to you, Cassie. Paula from Flores, she has a boat there and have no money to restore and for GPS license. And we would love to have a because we have many boats here in the Azores now waiting to be launched. We would love to have a group launching. That would be great. And then tracking them, because I have been tracking those Portuguese that arrived to Morocco, and it's interesting to see they were launched basically at the same time or with some difference, right? And then to see that I couldn't imagine they would go to Morocco. I thought they would come here. I was quite happy, but no, they went there. It's a wonderful experience. And then to decide, it was great to decide, because we can put things inside the mini boat, just like a message in a bottle, right? And which message? What are they? Who is going to catch our boat? Who is going to read those messages? What are we going to? And then this could be done we did it with different classes from different ages. Kids make some drawings and others did some poems. We even put some biscuits. So there are some biscuits there traveling the ocean. It was wonderful. I don't know if you want to ask anything else.
No, I love the idea of instead of one boat at a time, how can we support all of the mini boats that are in the Azores and see if we can get more than one sent out. And from our perspective, that will help me find funding over here. If I'm able to say, we're going to involve more schools, more students, and we could then sponsor, you know, a new sail for each school and the GPS fees and all
Because
of that.
we have in Flores, we have in Graciosa. Graciosa is not a blue school, but that doesn't matter. We had two in
Terceira.
Graciosa, and I thought, okay, let's take one from Graciosa and offer to Terceira. And then we have one in Terceira, we have another in Fayal, or more than one, I don't know.
I think at least one, but that one needs a lot of repair.
What,
But a
the one
couple
in-
of them also have the sensor packs too, which is really exciting because we can really learn about how our ocean is changing with that true sea surface temperature measurement. So that's one of the biggest differences from the beginning of the program to now, is that the cargo space is bigger for more stuff, but also for more technology, so we can get the most out of these experiences.
So
Okay.
I guess money is either you're lucky, just as we are here in the Azores, that many of them are heading here, because to start one of them, I guess it's a bit expensive for our
It is.
Portuguese schools. But that's
But
my
also
opinion.
there are a lot that need to be relaunched, so let's repurpose and reuse while we can.
Thank you, Helena. Carlos, queria falar há pouco, penso eu, sim.
Queria cumprimentar a Cassie. For me, I'm in the zero level. I'm starting. I know this project with, I think, Fernanda. Tell me something, the project. I know in the first time many years ago, I hear about West, and my curiosity starting that moment about I think 10 years, for instance, and then the West stay in my mind, and I say perhaps one day I can start with this in my school. And I'm working for that, and I'm starting the project at school, and I would like to find the best way, because you have a lot of experience in the tracks, and this is the track, this way to come to this point that you are, with the experience with your children's. I need to share. I need you share with all of your experience, because I need to this project now. It's very important for us. I'm talking from Lagos, Portugal. You know, where it's in the south of Portugal. Algarve.
In Algarve.
And
Algarve.
there is the town connected with discovers, and that's why the project, the name of project Sebastian. Sebastian was a king in the Algarve. Algarve is most new. But I have a lot of questions to do, and you are answering some of them. The principal question, because the school, we need to get money of partners, for instance, to start the project in the school, to have the kit of the boat. And I will teach me what I need to do for starting in my school.
Carlos, I didn't catch where you're located.
Sorry.
I don't know if my service is spotty, but I had a hard time hearing some of that. I'm just wondering, where are you?
Bernardo,
Yes.
I'm in,
Is in Lagos, southern
estou a
Portugal.
ouvir mal.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Sim, in the south of Portugal, in Lagos, Algarve.
Yeah,
Southern corner of Portugal.
Yeah. Let me just, Carlos,
I don't listen.
Carlos, peço desculpa. Sorry, Cassie, I'm going to talk Portuguese here, right?
Go ahead.
Just
Yeah,
a little bit. Carlos, peço desculpa. O Carlos tem um barco que vocês próprios construíram, correto? Ou não? Estou a fazer confusão.
Não. Eu sei que há o kit,
Ok.
não é? O barco, mini
Sim,
barco,
podem
como
adquirir,
se
exato.
adquire, também gostava de saber. Nós não
Mas
temos
custa
o
muito
barco
dinheiro,
ainda, estamos
Carlos.
a ter um projeto e preciso de arrancar com esse projeto. Pois, tenho aqui uma apresentação em Câmara, já o apresentei à direção do agrupamento e também a empresas, mas dá-me a sensação que estou no ponto em que preciso de arranjar dinheiro para arrancar com o projeto e vocês que estão aí já têm a fruta na mão, já sabem como é que isto se faz. Quer dizer, o projeto está bem aceito, o projeto que eu construí é aceito pela comunidade local. Mas, pronto, por exemplo, o agrupamento não consegue adquirir diretamente, imaginando que se disponibilizaria o dinheiro, tem que ser por intermédio de uma empresa portuguesa, porque não pode comprar diretamente ao estrangeiro, não é? E falar aqui do kit que tive conhecimento que existe para se arrancar. Como a Helena diz, isto custa muito dinheiro.
See. Oh, okay, so I'm going to just translate. Sorry, Cassie, to keep you out of the loop. I was under the wrong impression that Carlos had already built a mini boat himself, but that's not the case. He has already created a whole project that he has ready to go, but well, he needs to buy the kit. So that's where he's at right now. So, and he's looking to, well, maybe find partnerships or something that allows him to go that way, but basically.
Yeah. A few years ago, we got a grant from the U.S. Embassy in Lisbon that funded a boat that was built in Fayal with Oma and Carla, and they relaunched it last year before, and it went down to Barbuda. But that's another way, and a good way that would allow U.S. support and Portugal support for us to work together. So I could look at that option again, perhaps, or FLAD even.
I'm in the same stage like Carlos, because I was working in another project about Blue School at my agrupamento, my school joined, like Globe Tree from NASA. I was working, and now I have another project at my school from a Brazilian researcher called Caroline Skio, is about coast monitoring, and I'm very interested in this kind of projects. But okay, I'm like in the level 0. I need to start from the beginning. I was thinking about one thing. What materials do you use to build the boats? Only recycled materials? Can be plastic? No.
They're handmade fiberglass by like professional boat builders. In the future, want to go down that route.
You can build in wood only, no?
It's fiberglass. We have molds here, like a set of 5 molds, and the boat makers make the parts for us. And then we send all the parts, the students do the keel. They can add the deck if they want. We want them to do as much, but they're not going to create the boat parts.
Okay, because at our school we have a STEAM lab and we have like a 3D printer. I don't know if you can use this to make some parts.
Yeah, the boats are 1.5 meters long. Not
Okay.
not quite 3D printable unless you had a really, really big printer.
Okay, but you can do by parts and after that glue that, no?
We haven't tried it before.
Okay. Okay, I will
that
think
helps.
about that.
Ok, não sei se aqui, penso que não haverá aqui mais questões. Também
I
não temos
guess you have to, there has to be a waiting list for our mini boats that land here, then we can send it to you. It's cheaper than buying a kit, but I saw you, Carlos, you're in a professional school, a vocational school, right? You usually have more money than we have, so you can ask, but you're right. There's another problem, which is we are, it's not forbidden, but it's harder for us to buy abroad, right? It's one of the things we have to do is to buy products here. It's just like here, for example, I'm now asking for a budget for some t-shirts, and one of the clauses is you have to buy in an Azorian store. It can go out. It can't be out of here. Not even in Lisbon. It has to be the Azores because this is supported by the Azorean government. So I have to buy it here, and that's another problem that some schools might have to buy in the United States.
But I have been talking with Marco in Fayal. If we could find a boat maker to like have a mold set in Portugal and make the boats there, then we just have to send, the sensor pack or the things that are like the smaller parts to it. So I think that's definitely like the next 10-year plan for sure. Because even to purchase it and send it there, the duties and taxes almost cost 100% sometimes. So an obstacle to figure out in the future.
Yeah. Okay. So, Cassie, could I ask you to please leave your email at the chat, please, so that everyone can see it and maybe get in touch with you regarding their own projects. Yes. We are going to also share this with our network, and well, I guess that's it. Basically, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Cassie, once again.
Thank you all for your support over the years.
Yes, yes. It is quite amazing. I came along this project during West, the beginning of the West journey, and I guess that's 10 years away from now. So it was it seems yesterday, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had so many incredible adventures with West, and plus we also had a Scottish teacher, because West went to Scotland, and Mary, and she came to Portugal by car by herself. Well, the amount of stories that we had regarding West is amazing.
Well, Mary is actually the aunt of my boss at that time, for the job I had before.
Okay.
So wow. I think I was meant to be part of Minibus.
Okay. Well, that is incredible.
You never know.
So many stories, so many memories.
Yeah, okay. And more to come.
Yeah,
and more to come, really. Okay, so thank you all for being here, and thank you again, Cassie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.